Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about a headline that was in ENN, Environmental News Network. Now, they have really lackluster stories, articles. That right there is their entire article. They're always that big, but the headline, groundwater levels are sinking even faster around the world, and this is January 24th, 2024. And this has been, a problem ongoing for a long time now, but right now it's gaining headlines today. And well, this is right here, September 2023. U.S. groundwater reserves are being depleted at an alarming rate. And this is the USGS. It talks about the decline in the depletion. And right here, New Scientist. This is, again, January 24th, 2024. And groundwater levels are dropping fast all over the world. And, it brings us to that famous Benjamin Franklin quote where it says, "When the well is dry, we know the worth of water." So, the wells are drying up, and we don't care about it because it's invisible. We don't see it. We just see, look, oh my God, the water's coming out. So it's all good. We can use it till the last drop is gone. Even, with all of the freshwater reservoirs in the West going dry and the water level sinking. I mean, they're still fighting about telling people, hey, guess what? You've got to actually start being responsible with water, and it's not happening, and it's becoming a bigger problem. And the thing is that, so much depends on this. Like, we'll see here, right here. Groundwater provides over 50 billion gallons per day for agricultural needs. Yeah. So just growing food takes 50 billion gallons a day. Okay. So that's a lot of water. That's that's a tremendous amount of water. And, right now, they are pumping groundwater at a rate faster than it can be recharged. And, that has negative effects on the environment and people who use the water. Cause, guess what? When this well runs dry, this, 50 billion gallons that we use for agriculture isn't going to be there. So, how are you going to grow food? Okay, but, it's out of sight, out of mind, so people don't really care about it. And right here, it says, where does the groundwater depletion occur in the United States? And this is from 1900 to 2008. And so here's a map of a lot of the aquifers, the underground water sources. And so the biggest, losses in aquifers are, the red, the orange, the rust maybe, then you get to the yellows and out to the blues where it's the lowest. But, you're losing it, right here. They talk about this is the OGALLA, if off the top of my head. It's an ground aquifer that, really sustains a lot of the farming out here in the Midwest. And they're just draining it beyond rates where it is being replenished from rain falling on the ground and then seeping through the ground till it gets to the underground aquifer. So, of course, out here in the Southwest, there's definitely, big losses. And even here in the East, a lot of people rely on groundwater for their homes. This article here has a lot of actually really good information here. It says that an investigation found that 45% of the more than 80,000 groundwater wells surveyed across the nation showed a statistically significant decline in water levels since the 1940s. 4 in 10 of the wells have hit record low levels in the past decade. So, right here, Don Klein, the Associate Director for Water Resources at the United States Geological Survey, said, there is no way to get that groundwater back. There's almost no way to convey how important it is. Right? You're not getting it back. And yeah, when the well is run dry, we know the worth of water. What happens when all these water sources dry up? Well, there's going to be a mass exodus from people that live in that area. And then there is definitely going to be a lot of people starving from all the food that isn't being produced. Right here, it says groundwater sources under the breadbasket state of Kansas, which normally produce about 25% of U.S. wheat, are struggling to support the 2.6 million acres dedicated to industrial-scale agriculture. In the wake of 2 years drought and plummeting groundwater levels, Kansas is looking at the smallest wheat harvest since 1961. Yeah, and this right here is, September 25th, 2023 article. So, it's one day people are just going to say, well, how are they not growing food? Okay, well, we used up all the water. Right here, I did a video about this. Meanwhile, in Phoenix, the fastest growing city in the U.S., state officials have effectively banned the construction of new homes relying on groundwater due to overuse and a decades-long drought that has made the region increasingly reliant on underground supplies. And, it has a lot to do with things that are on land, too. Right here it says, across parts of Utah, California, and Texas, roads are cracking, foundations are collapsing, and sinkholes are appearing because of sinking groundwater levels. Because, when the water's underground, it holds up the land on top of it. But when that water starts depleting, then there's, like this huge air bubble. And so the ground subsides, and anything that's on it, if it's a road or a foundation, it can just sink in, and sinkholes are appearing, all the sinkholes that are appearing in Florida. I'm always like, is that because of water usage? I don't know. But, all the time you see the headlines. And right here, W.A.R.I.G.I.A. Bowman, a law professor and water expert at the University of Tulsa, told the New York Times that from an objective standpoint, this is a crisis. There will be parts of the U.S. that run out of drinking water. In that Phoenix area, that video that I did, right, they're not allowing them to build homes, and homes that are there that don't have a water source that used to get water shipped in from the local municipality, that municipality is cutting them off. Okay? Wars happen over water. Water is essential. So, and right here it says, groundwater is the source of around 30% of all readily available fresh water in the world. The U.S. relies on groundwater for 26% of its water supply, pumping approximately, right here, let's go up from here, approximately 82.3 billion gallons of water to the surface each day, according to the United States Geological Survey. They say that the water is crucial for the USA's farming and agricultural industry, with the majority used for crop irrigation and livestock purposes, though plenty of states rely on the source for domestic uses like tap water too. So yeah, a lot of states. a lot of places. I've lived where my household water is from an underground aquifer. And right here it says the snowpacks that feed the rivers are shrinking year on year as a result of rising temperatures. As a result, alternative sources of fresh water are also depleting, increasing the reliance on aquifers. So, yeah, if the fresh water isn't there on the surface, well, then they take it from beneath. And they say adding to this growing population rates, mushrooming cityscapes, and the scaling up of industrial agriculture to meet rising global demand, the result is a system where more groundwater is pumped out of the earth than can ever be reasonably replaced within 1 year. So we're playing with fire here. And helping that fire is many states have no or very limited groundwater regulations, and some, including Texas, Oklahoma, and Colorado, explicitly allow groundwater to be pumped until it's gone. Okay. It says this means there is no legal framework to disincentivize excessive reliance on groundwater, such as growing water-intensive crops like alfalfa and cotton in dry areas. So it says, but as unregulated pumping reaches its logical conclusion, aquifers could be left high and dry, with estimated recovery times running into centuries or even millennials, which, yeah, is true. These aquifers, they have built up their groundwater over thousands of years of water that lands on the surface, just seeping through the ground and filling up these underground aquifers. And right here, it says that in 2021, the agricultural industry raked in $177 billion in the United States. And that the U.S., the country, is the world's leading exporter of food, the largest producer of maize, corn, the third largest of wheat, and the fifth largest of potatoes. And what do those all require? Oh, that's right. Water. And right here it says, according to some experts, the USA appears to have reached the point of no return. Yeah, we are just going deeper and deeper into these wells, and they are going to run dry. So then they use satellites operated by the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and supported by NASA. And they said the investigation concluded that every year since 1940s, more wells have recorded falling rather than rising levels. Of course, since the 1940s, population has increased, the use of products has increased, the number of people standing just at their sink with water running from the faucet directly down the drain and just letting it run and run and run, and all of the manufacturing and just the beyond abuse. The use of water that we have is enough. The abuse and waste of water is astronomical. And if we had just cut that out long ago, we might not be in the situation where you might just turn on your faucet one day and there might not be any water. So on that note, people just, we can live modern technology lives, and we can all have resources, but one thing we really need to start doing is just using resources responsibly, which is a major change of individual habit and business habits. It's because otherwise, one day very soon, you're going to find a dry well, and then as the herds are moving on, they're going to understand the worth of water from one of the founding fathers himself, Benjamin Franklin. So stay tuned, people.